Hi, I'm Tori, and today I'm going to be discussing the book Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. I listened to the audiobook narrated by Joe Jameson, and I highly recommend it. The story is set in London, and Joe Jameson reads it like all the different characters come from different parts of the UK, so they just all have such amazing, beautiful, and unique accents. I love British accents so much, and this book was just such a treat to listen to. So this is the story of two 20-something-year-old men who have nothing in common except for the fact that they both need dates for upcoming events. Luke is the son of a rock star who was famous in the 80s and is now making a bit of a comeback. And even though Luke has never even met his father, the tabloids still like to follow him around and catch him in compromising positions. And so he needs to change his image in the media and look like he knows how to lead a stable, put-together life and have a relationship that is more than just a one-night stand, especially because he works collecting donations for an environmental charity, and people are fairly hesitant to give money to someone who looks like too much of a playboy. Oliver is a very driven and successful lawyer who wants to bring a committed boyfriend to his parents' anniversary party so that he is not the only one of his siblings who is single. So Luke and Oliver decide to pretend that they are a couple. This book was just so much fun to read. These two characters were so adorable, they were so great together, and it was so nice to read a love story where the characters actually had a healthy relationship. They treated each other with respect and kindness, they talked about their problems, and they were better people when they were together. The story is narrated from Luke's perspective, and he has very low self-esteem and uses kind of cruelty to others to mask that, and usually I hate reading about characters like that, and they're just very annoying and obnoxious. But somehow Luke wasn't. You could understand where he was coming from, and you kind of watched him grow as a person. And even though I usually hate characters like this, I thought that he was amazing. And Luke and Oliver just had so much chemistry, and they were both very awkward in different ways, and it was just so much fun to watch them talk to each other. So much of this book was just a scene of them sitting and having a conversation, and I could not stop reading. I also really loved how much diversity was in this book. I read kind of a lot of romance novels, and very often they are about straight, white, cisgender, middle-class people falling in love, then getting married and having 2 kids in the epilogue. And that formula gets very repetitive and also kind of gives this idea that there's one way to live life and one way to find happiness. And I find that very frustrating. So it was so refreshing to read this book, which showed so many different people finding different ways to live their best life. This book had gay, lesbian, and bisexual characters, all of whom were in different states of being in a committed relationship, being single, being somewhere in between. It had a little bit of ethnic diversity. Characters were from all over the UK, and one of the characters was South Asian. And then it showed lots of different characters who wanted different things out of life. There was a gay couple who were in the process of trying to adopt a child. There was a heterosexual couple who were trying to explain to their parents that they didn't actually want to have children and that they were happy living their life just the two of them. There were 2 middle-aged women who were best friends and whose friendship was the strongest relationship in their life, and they were heterosexual. They both preferred to have romantic relationships with men, but their romantic relationships weren't the most important part of their life. Their friendship was the most important part of their life. And it was just so wonderful to see all these different characters living life in so many different ways, all of which worked perfectly for them. This book was so much fun. It was a wonderful, honest, open, healthy love story that I just couldn't put down, and I would highly recommend it.